Welcome to NIPFP podcast in our special series of talks with former directors. It's a pleasure to have Dr. Pinaki Chakraborty, former director of NIPFP, faculty at NIPFP, and Dr. Pinaki has held many key important positions even outside NIPFP. It's a pleasure to have you for the talk, sir. We plan to do this in three parts. Our first part is your association with NIPFP. Even before you were director, you've had a long association with NIPFP. Then we'll touch upon your term as director. And the third part, where we talk about your thoughts about what the institute should do looking forward, the areas of work, or maybe the research agenda that the institute should have, given that it has now a legacy of about 50 years. So let me begin with the first part. How do you recall your early associations with NIPFP, even when you joined as a faculty, or what was the time? How do you look at the time when you sort of had the first interaction with NIPFP?
Thank you, Ame, for inviting me to this podcast. My association with NIPFP started even before I joined here as a faculty.
Yes. Okay.
And that was in 1994 when I came to Delhi to collect data on state finances from NIPFP library.
Okay.
So that was the first time I visited NIPFP. Then I visited NIPFP in 1999, and that was the time when the 11th Finance Commission was in office. And I happened to meet Dr. Amresh Bakchi on the corridor. And that time I had just published a rejoinder to an article in DPW. And I introduced myself to him. And before that, I think he came to CDS to teach us. So 3-4 years back. So I introduced myself, and then he said, whether I was the same person who wrote that rejoinder.
Recall the article.
So I said yes. Then he said, why don't you join the Finance Commission?
Oh my God.
So that's how I came to the Finance Commission as a consultant in the 11th Finance Commission, and then NIPFP.
But you were still not as a person
I
working
was
at
still a PhD
NIPFP.
student. I was a PhD
still not
student.
at NIPFP.
No formal association with NIPFP. So then I joined NIPFP after my term in Finance Commission got over, because Finance Commission submitted its report, and then I was planning to go back to CDS to complete my PhD. That was the time there was an advertisement, and I applied, and
that's how you got into it.
Given that job. Dr. Ashok Lahiri was the director then.
Ashok Lahiri had become the director by then.
Yes.
Okay. So that's how you entered NIPFP.
NIPFP. That was in 2000 August.
2000. Okay. That's been a fairly long association now.
Yes.
And you've continued here in different roles. Earlier they used to call it senior economist, then a faculty, so you've had and you've been teaching at other places even while being at NIPFP. So how do you see?
I think in NIPFP, the structure of designation has changed, but it hasn't. It is the same. The nomenclature has changed.
The structure is pretty much the same.
So there is no change there. So I joined as an economist in 2000, then became senior economist in 2003. Then became associate professor. That time it used to be called fellow. In 2006, and then became professor in 2008. In between, I was not here for a year. I was in CDS teaching. So that's how the whole
association started.
Association started, and then it continued. So it's now more than 25 years.
25 years and being at NIPFP.
With NIPFP in some form or other.
Some form or the other. Yeah. You've been teaching at NIPFP and at other places for quite some time. So how do you see the difference between teaching here in the training programs that we have versus in other core courses, let's say undergrad, postgrad, or even at PhD level?
Yeah, I haven't taught undergrad courses, but I have been teaching at the PhD level. I have also taught graduate students in various places. What makes NIPFP's research unique when it comes to teaching is something which I would say has three components. One is uh, being a policy think tank on a very specialized subject like public finance, and the kind of reforms that we have seen in this country in the last 30 years. NIPFP was in the forefront
In
of
the
that
forefront
reform.
of almost every episodic reform.
Yes, so that way we had lot of first-hand knowledge of
What
how things
actually
are
goes on?
evolving,
Okay.
and also had I would say, uh, very good understanding uh, about global experiences on those
On those issues.
issues.
Yeah.
So that way, I thought it gave me a major, confidence in teaching.
Okay.
When you teach
And
either
I think in
applied
that sense,
macroeconomics or fiscal policy or monetary policy, fiscal policy, monetary policy interaction, tax policy, everywhere, this I thought was a major advantage of being in NIPFP.
and that has helped in teaching in that way.
Yes, yes, that has helped in teaching. Second thing is publication. I think in NIPFP there is no pressure to do anything. That is the best part of this institute. But at the same time, NIPFP faculty publish regularly.
Yes.
So that is a part of the
The
system, a part of
main job.
culture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So that way, I think teaching, applied research, and publication helped. It's not only me. I think
Every
everybody who
faculty.
goes out and teach finds it lot less difficult
Exactly.
to convey to the students, because they're very young minds. So convey to the students things that are very practical, appropriate, and also applied in nature.
Yeah.
Apart from the theory that you teach, I think that is very important, because everything is grounded in theory. But when we talk about practical issues in tax policy or expenditure policy or fiscal responsibilities, budget management, I think students do get a
A lot of those insights,
Yes. Yeah.
actually, after having worked in government for some for some time.
Yeah, with the government, I haven't worked with the
Yeah.
in the government. Yeah.
I mean, yes. What I meant was having worked in different committees in different.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe the finance commission. maybe
Yes.
at other
Finance
places.
commission, I did work. Yeah.
So let me just follow up on the same thing. So during your tenure as faculty, you've been here for quite some time. You've seen many directors during your term. So how has that shaped your own research, teaching? What was the kind of insights that, if you recall, any particular things that helped, or was the main force in putting your own research, your own publication? So how did that happen over the last, I would say, 2 decades?
I think in NIPFP, director plays a very critical role.
Yeah.
I would also say that directors in NIPFP have disproportionate work burden.
Okay.
In terms
that
of,
we'll come to when in your term.
Yeah. But so I think running administration, giving direction to research, yet managing
Your own work and
own work is not easy. So that is something which is it's a very complex job. But I must say that NIPFP had excellent directors.
yes, in the past we have had great academicians, policy practitioners.
Yes. So, and that leadership actually helped institute in a major way in terms of both research,
as well as
training,
treating.
policy, teaching. And all the directors have been very flexible when it comes to faculty engagement in other places. You go and teach. Nobody tells you no, you cannot go. So they have always been very promoting. So these are great qualities of an institution.
Yeah.
So
And that has carried on. I mean,
that
legacy has carried on successively
yeah.
with directors.
Yes, yes. So that way, I think it is a great place to be in, particularly for young faculty who are looking for career in public finance, fiscal policy, macroeconomics. NIPFP is a fantastic place.
Fantastic place that way. Okay. So let us now, since you mentioned about the director's role and how it has the roles and responsibilities in shaping research teaching. So you joined as director and after having spent so much of time in NIPFP, so how was the transition from being a faculty to a director? So do you have any recollection on how you would, maybe you had some preconceived ideas because you've seen the institute for such a long time. So you thought that, okay, this is a time that I would want to initiate a few things, or how was the transition from being a faculty then to being a director?
When I joined NIPFP as director, I was not with the NIPFP.
Yes, you came from UNICEF. Yes,
I was in UNICEF. And that was also the time of COVID.
Yes.
So
challenging time.
More than research, I think I was managing
yes.
COVID.
COVID.
and that took away considerable part of my time. And there was also some request for some work that we did, and I think we also lost faculty during that time.
It was a challenging time during.
So that was quite a difficult time that we had. But things fell in place very soon. By the end of June 2021, we were quite okay. And we started moving on. Our training program started. People started coming in. Lockdown was over. So first few months were really tough because of COVID. As far as the role as director and an employee of the institute, not as director, I would say my best job was when I was an economist.
Yes, exactly. Was being a faculty.
So as an economist, when I joined as a young scholar, I think that was the best time of learning. And director's job brings in a lot of responsibilities, and I'm happy that time was. We could manage COVID and yet could move on, do some work, and also recruit faculty. So
that was again an important part of the responsibility of a director.
Yes. So that way, I think that time the 15th Finance Commission report was out. We had some good discussions on that. We had a couple of good publications as well. So I think NIPFP has been fantastic as far as professional as well as personal development is concerned. Individual level, I would say, I feel I generally don't get attached to institutions. You should like your job, but you don't have to like the place. But when it comes to NIPFP, that distinction is very difficult to make.
So since you were mentioning about being director, so I understand that the work responsibility is fairly demanding. So you have to balance both academic work as well as managing the place administratively. So is it that way very difficult that, personally speaking, academic takes a sort of backseat where you have to do more of administrative jobs? So how do you balance, or do you have some thought on how you balance both the academic work as well as the administrative work? Or you think more of a leadership role when you take up as director?
Director's job doesn't have a job description, so anything can come
to your table. It's your own, exactly. You have to deal with it.
So you really cannot bifurcate. So we have to be prepared for
handling everything, handling all kinds of
things. So it's not. It's challenging, but it is also fun. So I think it was quite a nice experience.
No, it was actually more I mean, as a community also, it's very nice to have a person who's seen the institute for such a long time to again come back and take a leadership position. So that way, the institute hasn't let you go far away for quite some time. So you've always managed to come back after a quick tenure at maybe at UNICEF or ADB at other places. So that way, it's been a great welcoming back in that sense. So the third part which I would like to ask you, so how do you see the future of the institute in terms of research work, engagement with governments, central government, state governments, the kind of training programs we are doing? Where do you see the scope that we should enter more into a certain discipline or expand areas or improve training part, or even maybe take up new areas of work which you think would be sort of a longer stay in the institute?
Yeah, I think I don't sound to be prescriptive
Yeah,
about what an IPFP should do and should not do.
yeah,
What I feel as a researcher going forward, couple of issues will become very important for fiscal policy and public finance research. Couple of them we have been discussing and contemplating about. One is certainly the issue of tax policy.
yes,
Now, there is this big discussion about business taxation, tax
yes,
avoidance.
they're
I
shifting.
think more research, country-specific evidence generation around this area
Is
will give us a lot of
I
insights
see.
into what is happening and how to move forward in a complex, interconnected global economy.
That's true.
That is one. Second thing is, as we speak, I think we also understand that after COVID and now with the wars happening in West Asia, there is the broad-based globalization is on a retreat. So in a
Yeah, that way.
in
More countries are more confined into
countries
borders.
are more confined to its borders. Strategic engagements are happening among countries. This will also have its impact on FISC.
Yeah.
The kind of policies that we thought would help promote market, greater global integration, seamless trade, free movements of goods and services, and to an extent factors of production. I think those are changing very fast.
Very fast.
So how that is going to evolve is largely unknown.
Largely unknown. So that's a good intersection of macro and public finance.
Macro and public finance, and that is where I think we need to continuously
Continue
work
more.
on.
Okay, that's
as
another
researcher
area of
in
work.
public finance. Third issue, I think we are talking about fiscal policy not purely from a deficit, debt, tax, expenditure perspective. We are also talking about some of the issues related to fiscal transparency, fiscal institutions to have better fiscal
Yes.
transparency. Then we are talking about public financial management, much better.
Yeah.
How to improve public financial management. These are areas where we have to, it may sound routine, but we have to continuously
Yeah, that's a
work on,
continuous piece of work which
yeah,
you can be.
yeah, if I may say that this is like whoever is working in public finance, a kind of bread and butter kind of areas of work. Third, I think what is important is to look at couple of changes and its fiscal implication, and these changes are changes in the society, I would say,
Demography.
and the economy.
maybe.
One is demography. So demographic transition. Second, I would say climate change. Its fiscal implication, not climate change
Per
from
se,
a climate finance perspective, but climate change and its fiscal implications.
More on adaptation.
More on adaptation expenditure. I think we should do a lot of work on that. Fourth, I would say significant amount of work has to happen on urbanization,
urban local
governance,
bodies.
fiscal governance
Yeah.
at the local level, and also on climate related expenditure that the local bodies will have to make.
Yeah.
After all, local bodies are the first
Point of
responder to a
yeah, exactly.
climate related catastrophe or crisis. So from that point of view, I think we need to do a lot of work on the expenditure side
Right.
from a climate perspective to improve livability of cities. Also, we need to do a lot of work on taxes at
Yes.
the local level, like property
Property
tax
tax.
reforms,
Okay.
other levies which can give good amount of revenue. Also ensuring that it is not regressive. Is in many states the property tax structure is also very regressive because
Yeah,
there
so
are
that
flat
can
rates and all.
both the
So,
design issue as
both.
well as the implementation of it. Those can be good areas
Yes,
of
so that kind of research will be
very useful.
very helpful. Yes.
And on training programs, how do you see the institute contributing towards emerging needs of state governments, union government, maybe now the universities on PhD programs? So
I think training programs have increased. The frequency of training
yes,
programs has increased in the couple of years, especially after COVID, and also the demand on such
specialized programs.
specialized work in the form of training will be there going forward. However, I think today there is a lot of focus on very specific issues in training. So public financial management.
Yes,
This is also very technical.
yes,
A lot of technology is involved in understanding that.
yes.
So that intersection, I think we need to have some collaboration,
Okay.
understanding, engagement with people who understand that
The
platform
technology side as well as on the practice side. So
practice side.
both have to be
Both have to converge,
converge,
and
then yeah,
some understanding of that will be useful.
yeah,
I also, this is just something I felt when I look at technology. There is a general feeling, not only in India, I think globally there is a general feeling that technology can solve all the problems.
yes.
So there is a
it's
tech solution
yeah,
to
all problems,
policy problems.
policy problems. Yeah,
I think we need to take a step back
yeah.
and also think about policy more carefully.
So it's just not that a technology can
Yeah,
provide a
tech
solution to a
solution
policy
is a
problem.
process improvement.
Yeah, it's
But
exactly.
tech solution is not a policy improvement.
Yeah,
So process improvement, yes, lot
it's
of technology,
definitely,
definitely something
yes.
which was unthinkable
Maybe
maybe 30 years back,
30
like
years back.
PAN or Aadhaar.
Yeah.
Now nobody thinks that we
Now
never
these have
ever had a problem
exactly.
in the system.
So these have become standard
It
things
is a
now.
standard process. In 30 years, things have transformed.
Yeah.
But we also need to understand that if we have tax policy, which is state of the art, the benefit that we'll get because of this tech development will be much more than a tax policy which is not state of the art.
State of the
So
art, yeah.
so what are the issues that we need to talk about when it comes to tax policy, apart from tech solutions to some of the issues of compliance, will be very important.
Very
to do.
important. So those are issues which have both the design component as well as the interface with technology.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Before we let you go, you've had such a long association with NIPFP, so it's best to ask you some very good cherished memories that you have of either being on campus, being in NIPFP, being associated with such eminent people during your tenure. So, any recollection of your good memories that you have, or any?
Well, there are a lot of memories. I used to stay outside. I moved to the campus in 2008,
Okay.
and I never moved out of the campus
After
after that.
after
So
that,
it is almost
20 more than
18, 19 years.
almost 2 decades that you've been here.
So my son grew up here. So I think there are a lot of good memories here. Some of them are really something which I'll carry
Yes.
wherever I go. And I would also think that the campus used to be very active.
Yes.
Now it looks little dull, but
Okay.
I think after COVID we have
COVID,
still not been
yes.
able to
Revive, or maybe go back to the same
pre-COVID
levels,
level of activity.
level of
I think
activity.
we should do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think all the celebrations that we had in the institute,
Yeah.
all the festivals that we celebrated together,
Yeah.
have always been
Sort of memorable.
a lot of memory, were very very precious, and I still hear from a lot of my colleagues that the kind of togetherness and the
Associations
association
they've had,
that
they've
they
had
have
with
had
NIPFP.
here. Yeah, so it has been lovely.
It's been a long and wonderful journey.
Yes, yes.
So on that note, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having
Thank you.
And with people like you in both faculties and as leadership, it's always important to sort of hear from your perspectives, which will sort of continue and help us improve in the future. Thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful having you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.